seems to be working fine, I guess. Okay, I'm making sure I had no plugins at all. Let's make it a bit even. Okay, so this is empty. Actually, that should be inside. Never mind. Let's start. Okay, we need to redo a lot of stuff. So let's get going. Where's my chat? Oh, here it is. Can you hear me fine? Okay, I just have to make one small adjustment because I can't live without it. And that is electronic nodes. Yeah, restart. Do some miracles. Yeah, I'm trying to. Like right now, I'm redoing the baseline AGR components to be more plugin friendly, and then some people from the community said that they want to help me and turn this into a plugin. And once this is a plugin, I will make it free on the marketplace. And from that point, I will start doing marketplace asset starter kits for different genre of games. So different examples will be separate create project kits. So there will be no longer the problem of missing reference once you open my repository, when everything is just one giant mess, missing assets, because all examples are just one project. But in this way, every example will be a separate project. I hope I explained it well. And this will be owners component. Okay, I missed one more. Yeah, this one for sure. Okay, that's important. The music is mostly for me. I hope there is not much static noise in the background. My PC, as the case, is super loud. It's like a jet engine or a rocket shooting for space. It's annoying as hell. And let's go here into project settings, plugins. Oh, it's not here? Where is the... How do I change behavior of this plugin? I know I can. Maybe it is here. And by the way, okay, here it is. I knew that there is somewhere. Predefine random color list. No. Default color. Thank you. Control opacity. Aggressively use the. Okay. Okay, I don't need to change anything else. So now when I comment, yeah, I have this default color only. Okay, so on begin play, recast. No, it's here as well. Yeah, this is right. Style, no. No, I don't need this one. Okay. Or you know what, maybe. Where the hell is it? Again, editor. Make the sound louder? You mean the music or me? I can do both, really. So which sound should be louder? If you tell me, I will do it. Okay. Yeah, those moving lines when you select something, really useful. Okay, so this is the recast owner. And then we need a function. No, we don't need a function yet, and we don't need tick yet. Andre, you ask if I could possibly make sound louder. What do you mean, the microphone or the music? Microphone, okay. That's better? No, not this one. It has to be this one. Okay. I don't think I can make it louder, at least in this program right now. I think, let me check. Filters properties. Nope. Oh, I actually can. I can actually even go above 100%. Yeah, I love my keyboard. It's just like people in my office where I used to work absolutely hated that I always had the loudest keyboards and asked me to actually shut up. Oh, okay, this has to be replicated and this has to be replicated. Set. This does the easy part. Custom event. Okay, it's quite important that you take the input of the function and not this value because it might be overwritten by networking. Like you can set a variable that is local, that is replicated locally, but you have like 0.1, 0.2 seconds before it is overwritten by the server. So what you do is you set a variable that you expect the server to overwrite it, and this way you see the effect immediately while the replicated effect take place like one synchronization later. Okay. Does it have to be? No, this is internal. We just need those functions to be exposed. So this is fine. Okay, what else do we have? Oh yeah, the entire rotation thing. Okay, and now if we go here, I need something I don't use often, which is enumeration. I don't like enumerations, I prefer gameplay tags, but I will need to avoid gameplay tags as I want only 4 types here, and never ever will there be another one. So there is an ignore. Oh, okay, this is the description. Turn in place rotation methods. And now, what were my tags? Okay. So we have rotate to velocity. We have absolute rotation, and then we have desired rotation, and we have desired, not desired. Absolute rotation, rotate to velocity, desired rotation, and we have rotation at angle, or actually desired. Can I do spaces here? That would be funny if I could. This is an enum, so probably I could. This is just a string that represents index, which is just an integer. So when you are calling an enum, it's actually just calling on an integer of specific one, and this is just a tag. So it should work. Yeah, it seems it does. A rotate method. Okay. Rotate method. Okay, what else there is? There is the rotation speed, obviously. Can I do descriptions? No, I can't do descriptions, so that's bollocks. None is the default, that's fine. Default value would be, let's say, 360. And this is actually a 180 turn, so 360 means that you're doing a full 360 turn in, I think, 2 seconds. Because this is, oh no, this should be like in one, no, yeah, in 2 seconds. Because if you have a turn in place animations and you want to play them just at speed of 1 to 1 and the turn of 90 degrees take 1 second, this should be 180. And what I said here is the value that goes into a character class in the movement component rotation vector. There's an X, Y, and Z rotation vector there. So this is the rotation speed. Then we have, if we picked this one method with the last one, desired angle, we do the turn start angle, and we need stop tolerance. Okay, so turn at angle will be 90. Let me check chat if anyone said anything. Yeah. Oh. Okay, awesome. So start angle would be 90, and stop tolerance would be just, I would say, 5. So what this value does is that you start turning in place if your aim offset is above 90 degrees, and stop if the aim offset is absolute range of 5. You could actually even go as low as 1. But there need to be some tolerance. If it's 0, then it's just bad. It should be at least 1. It sucks I cannot make a minimum and maximum for those values, but well. Okay, what else there is? Rotation speed, turn start angles, stop tolerance. Let's see. Yeah, that's everything for here. Set with notify rotation speed. Okay. So what I need to do is to promote this to a variable, and yeah, just delete this space. And this need to not only be replicated but with rep notify, and this rep notify function that we just created should be in functions. So this will get owner as character and say valid. If it's not valid, then recast owner, and if it is valid, then you just take this owner as character, and you know that this movement component is valid as well, and you can do okay, quite complex thing. Because we are setting 3 different values. So we get the character and his movement component, and we'll do a set of things. So set turn, set use control rotation yaw, which is by default on, by the way, on any character. And then from movement component, we want orient rotation to movement, and we want set rotation use controller desired rotation. Okay, this one as well. Oh, set use controller set. Yeah, okay, this one. So we'll be setting those 3 values depending on our variable that we just replicated, so the rotation method. And the easiest way to do it would be switch, I guess. So if it is valid and if this worked, okay, so none is this. Just pow, pow, and pow, just those 3. Rotate to velocity, this one will be easy. This one will be orient rotation to movement, This is a movement component variable, and you ignore this one and you ignore this one. It's just this one. Absolute rotation will be a bit more tricky. Absolute rotation is this one being true. And honestly, if this one is true, those two are being ignored altogether, but we can just disable them. Okay, what else? And two more sets. This goes to character, this goes to component. Okay. Let's pretend that it's easier to read. Okay. So this is the Z rotation at angle. Those two will be tricky. So how to do that? I would say that okay, the Z rotation will be easy. It will be no, no, and yes. And this one, the last one, the Z at angle, it would be it will be a no, 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 really. And why this is just triple no, I will explain in a second. Yeah, it should be out really fast. You know what? I will definitely make a multiplayer FPS shooter example project. And the best part of it, it will come with full animations and weapons. So it will be a project that has a very solid starting ground for a shooter game. Okay, so we have this. Now rotation speed. We need to promote to a variable and call it, well, rotation speed, no problem. And rotation speed is also replicated with rep notify. So we got another function, and this function, by the way, in Blueprint, it's being called on the server when this is being changed on the server and on clients, but in C++ you need to call it directly when you want to use it on the server. However, on the server you can call it by hand, but in Blueprint you cannot call a function that is rep notify by hand. This is just odd. Like, it works exactly the opposite of what you would expect. So rotation speed, it must get owner movement component, check if it's valid, unfortunately, as usual. If it's not valid, then recast, and if it is valid, then from the movement component, you know what, just go here. From the movement component, you want to set rotation rate, and this rotation rate would be just for the Z value. Come on, get here. Okay, and if it is valid, then go directly here as well. Compile save. So this is the rep notify. Okay. Server set rotation, and it will have the same values, same inputs. Or just speed. It doesn't matter, like this is an internal function, so it shouldn't be called by the user at all. And okay, rotate method, rotation speed, and then turn start angle, stop tolerance. Server set rotation, and it will go directly from those variables, skipping those input points. This is important. And this one, can I make it private on server reliably? I can't make an event private function. That's odd, to say the least. If I add just any function, yeah, I can make it public, protected, or private, but I can't do it for events? Why? Like, this should be private, it should be only internal. Okay, never mind. So we got those two values, and now we have this value. Promote to variable, turn start angle. Okay. And we have this. Promote to variable, turn stop tolerance. I need to set those two as well. And then push it on the server. And server, I mean, to the server, maybe we should multicast it. I'm thinking. How did I manage it here? Like, I'm trying to, you know, improve on everything. Okay, it's just replicated values, that's it. Okay, let's just make it replicated. I think that's easiest way to do it. It's not very heavy. On server reliably, okay. Okay, so now we will need our aim offset settings. Come on. Setup aim offset. So what do we have? We have a new enumeration that we don't have yet. It will be called E aim offsets. Okay. Aim offset type. And we have 3 at least. So first one will be none. /ignore. Second one will be called, and this is just a name, by the way. Oh, this is even better. It's just text. So if it is text, it can contain even signs that normally are not allowed in names or, you know, other types of fields. Display name. This one would be aim at, and this one will be look at. And I'm thinking about making one more that would be a hybrid of look and aim. So you would be aiming at one point but looking at something else. But on the other hand, this is terrible to set up. So just leave it as this. Or just aim and look. And none. Okay, let's make it as simple as you can. offsets. Default value is none, and this is fine. Okay, we need aim offset speed. And this is for smooth aim offset, and we want it to be same value everywhere. We don't want it to be local. And there might be many reasons why you want to speed up or slow down aim offset. For example, depending on your health or depending on what animation state you're at. But on the other hand, you could drive it in so many ways. Do we actually need to make it part of the system? Is it that important? You can hardly hear me. Jesus. Why is that? And now? Okay, now it should be super loud. Do we want aim offset speed here? This is a question. Like, is it really that important? Do I ever really set it? I could use it in the anim graph directly based on any condition. You know what? We'll skip this value. It will no longer exist in the new process. Because I'm thinking about why. Okay, I would want to have different speeds for aim and look, but I can do it inside anim graph. Yeah, let's just skip it. But we'll need angle clamp, so say what's the maximum aim offset left and right is, and where do we want to clamp it. And we need a clamp method, so we need another enumeration. Let's do it. E aim offset clamp. And we don't have ignore or anything like this, but nearest, and this is the default value, and then we have left or right. So basically what this does is that you have a clamped aim offset and you hit this clamp value. You don't want to, just switch shoulders. You want to continue having the same shoulder until you hit the second aim offset. So when you are running forward and looking backward, you don't have this funny jiggling left and right with your mouse cursor. Okay, angle clamp and behavior and we could actually make it on the top. So just those three values. And should we do a camera based aim? Yeah, why the hell not? But should it be here? Let me think. Yeah, it should. So camera based basically means that you are doing aim offset from the perspective of the camera, not by the perspective of the controller. Because in many situations I want to use controller rotations for something absolutely different than doing the aim offset. Yeah. Yes, play the royalty-free music. Thank you. Okay, I want camera based. So I also need to specify yeah, that's it. But on the other hand, let me think. There is a situation where actually for the aim offset I might need okay, so I need aim socket name, okay, and this will be name, and I need look at socket name. I need those two bones because I'll be using them later for line traces. Yeah, I think that's everything now. So let's make this a variable and just bam 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 the spaces. Aim offset type, replicated behavior. Angle clamp. Oh, and of course replicated. Oh, okay, good to hear that it's better. Camera based, should it, like, I mean, yeah, it should be replicated as well, but is it really important? Like, this is local information to calculate the aim offset, so this one doesn't have to be replicated. And you know what, let's make it like this. Yeah, aim socket name and look at socket name. I fairly doubt that those should be replicated as well. Because this should be called once, like those, this should be called once when you just change the mesh, if you ever change the mesh. So should I ever replicate those two? This is the question. Server aim set aim offset. Okay, wait, I am a potato in English. I need to check something. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Offset behavior and angle clamp. Angle clamp doesn't have to be calculated as well. Yeah, it doesn't have to be replicated. So I only need to clamp those two and use those two, and that's it. Those are being used locally anyway. Yeah, that's it. I just need to replicate those two values, so already there's a profit on redoing the entire system with my current knowledge, because I've been like planning a lot of things while doing this system that I will do with it, but in the end it was just useless. I never actually had to use any of those behaviors I wanted to make. Only this is really important, and this has to be called locally, and this has to be called locally, so it's fine. Aim offset, so I just need to replicate two enums. That's great. Okay, I got the aim offset. What else do I have in the old system? Let me take a look. IK scale, additive animations alpha, IK scale pelvis bone name. You know what? I need a new one. Custom vent. Okay, setup IK. Setup IK will have spine start, and this will be a name of a bone, and it will end at spine end, and we need also head bone name. Okay, what else do we need, like really need? Those two we don't need anymore. Okay, this is for IK. I can change additive not based on this system, so it's irrelevant. I don't need this. I don't need this at all in here. I don't need it in here. I could use it somewhere else maybe. Let me think. So we have this. We have to be able to call those somehow. But not right now. We might just use a function library or interface. Because why should I set up it with replicated values? I don't see a point of that. Yeah. Okay. We don't need that. So this is for the aim offset behavior. Okay, let's just end with this for now. So this is the base functionality of what I had in my AGR. What I don't have here is the multiplayer montage, and I won't be doing it here anymore, because why? Like, you can do multiplayer montages inside your character or any example, to be honest, so I don't see a point. Or maybe I should. No, there's just too much to it. Oh, and one last thing. Custom event. Setup FPP. And first person. And first person is a boolean, as we just set here. And by the way, none of those variables are exposed. They don't need to be exposed. Or you know what, if I would want characters to be, if I wanted characters to be instanced, they would actually share all of those, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe those two could be exposed. That would make sense. Like this, this, that. Yeah, only those two. And I need an event dispatcher Okay, and I just need to call it here. Another problem in blueprints, all event dispatchers, you don't have, like, you have replication-ish, but it's just replication condition. What? Oh, okay. What? Those are the inputs, copy signature. Yeah, so basically in blueprints you have very limited replication for the event dispatchers, because you can make them notify, you can make them multicast, you can make a lot of stuff or run them only on the owner in C++, while in blueprints you have just the basic functionality. So I usually make them non-replicated, because I will just call them on the client or on the server if I needed to replicate. So this one, it needs to be called locally, because this variable, it's important only locally. Okay. Okay, we're not touching ragdoll at all in here, not now, maybe at some point. So the only thing left here is to do the tick event. And that's going to be a tedious work. Okay. Let me take a look. Where should I start? Maybe with rotation. So let's make a sequence. Okay, I will just copy from my previous one, and I will adjust it here and explain what I'm doing. Please don't break. Yay! Okay, so if our rotation method is desired angle, and let's change this to black, this to black, this to black, and this to black. Okay, and let's connect this execution. So if we're doing this rotate method desired at angle, right, then we want to dynamically, only when we're doing this, we want to dynamically switch our use control desired rotation in our character movement component. So let's do owner's movement component here, and our owner as character here. No, not like this. Okay, owner as character, aim offset. We don't have aim offset yet, but we will need this variable. And this will be not default, it will be runtime. While those are, well, this is runtime as well, and this is runtime. And those are set up. This is obviously exposed and instance editable, and rest is, but this doesn't have to be. Yeah, and those have to be, obviously. Okay. Okay, so how it works. If our rotate method is desired at angle, then we are doing this check, and if some condition is true, we want to use control desired rotation, which means that our character will start rotating towards the control rotation, and if it is false, then we are checking if we are in range of this clamp angle, and if we are not, if we are, if it's true, then we want to stop our desired rotation. So why is this? Okay, let's look at it. So we have some aim offset. We're calculating delta rotator from our actor rotation, which makes sense. And you know what? We can just get owner. We don't need to get owner as character. It doesn't matter if he's a character or not. And we can get velocity as well from him. Okay. We're checking our velocity. Then X. Okay, so if our aim offset is greater than our rotation, is greater than the stern start angle? No. Oh yes, okay, that makes sense. So if our rotation exceeds the aim offset maximum, which is 90, okay, so the absolute value, we could either make this absolute or this absolute, doesn't really matter. We actually probably should make this absolute, but we're just counting on people not be stupid and knowing that this should be a positive value. Oh, we can actually make a value range. Let's do that in a second. So this, if this value is in range, okay, that makes sense. So it goes here, and this goes here. Okay, that makes sense. So if this is false, you don't do nothing. That also makes sense. So stop playing with use control desired rotation when you exceed certain velocity. So if you are moving, you want your character to rotate. Yeah, that makes sense. No. Sorry, it's this owner. Okay. So we can collapse that. And this will be turn in place. Okay. It seems like a lot for running a tick, but it's really not. It's just changing one value locally without replication based on something. More complex will be the aim offset one. Oh, and by the way, let's check chat. Well, the entire idea of building this system is not to have to use ACF. Like, ACF is cool, it's really great, but it costs a lot, obviously. And second of all, it's a very specific tight system where everything is tied together, and it kind of forces you on certain workflow that I want to avoid in my examples. And also, how the hell could I make like I absolutely love ACF, just to be clear, but how can I make marketplace packs that would rely on ACF? I can't make a like it is legal to make marketplace asset packs that rely on plugins, but if I make it to rely on a plugin I do not own and I cannot take responsibility for, and it could become discontinued or something, like majority of the money from my pack would go to the owner of ACF, and I would have to update all my packs whenever he updates his plugin. So as much as I absolutely love ACF and I encourage people to make games with it, it's not viable for me to do what I want to do. Also, honestly, ACF does a hell lot more than this. And I mean just even on animation level, a lot more. But I want it to be more flexible, so I want my plugin to do less and then allow people to extend it. It's just a certain starting point. What's the end goal of this is an anim graph that already has a lot of variables that you can use later on in any way you want. Okay, so we got this, and now I will copy the more screwed up one, which is the multiplayer aim offset. Oh, and by the way, the execution order is also important because I need to call aim offset before I set aim offset, because I'm setting aim offset here and I need to be able to set it before I use it. Okay, let's collapse that. Yeah, just call it whatever, honestly. Okay, and let's just do nothing. Yeah, few functions. Let's check chat real fast. Oh yes, definitely. Actually, I'm going to do 2 updates to the advanced FPS tutorial. One will be an update to the inventory, and I will use the new inventory component because managing pickup items in the tutorial, it was like 3 episodes, 2.5 hours, so almost half of the entire work. And using this component for inventory, it will be just like 4 functions. And actually even just 4 function calls, not even writing a function. And the second update would be to this plugin. I'm also planning to make an FPS template, game template, that would rely on free plugins, including my free plugin. Okay, so we need to get our owner's character, and then we are checking if we are camera-based aim. So if our target, our pawn, is locally controlled, so it's a player or a bot, we want to run this logic. So we want to run it locally, we are not doing it on multiplayer. Then if the pawn is controller based, and only when the pawn is controller based and camera based, we can do the camera aim offset, because if the pawn is not a player, then it most likely doesn't even have a camera, so it would be really hard to use that. And we already know that it is a local controlled character, so right now we know that it's a local controlled player that is using camera based aim, which means we can just get camera manager, and we can get player index 0 camera manager, and we can get active, get camera, well actually this is attached to the camera, so we can just get transform component. Oh, get camera location and rotation, so we got those 2. and we can get a lot more of camera stuff. So we can get camera location and we can get camera rotation, and this way we know exactly where the camera of that player is. Even if it's not attached to the player itself, we can always read this value. Okay, so let's go first for the... Okay, let's first fix this one. So server aim offset runs on server, has an aim rotator, and it's not reliably replicated, so it can skip frames. It will update when you have bandwidth to update this event. If you don't, then it doesn't update. And it's being updated not through replicated variable, because it always tries to replicate, but through an event, because it will get called with the character itself. If the character is not being displayed by multiplayer characters, it will not use bandwidth to update its aim offset. So we also need this one, multi-aim, and it's also not reliable. And we're checking if our owner is a character, and we already know it is local because we're not doing anything if it's not local. So what we want to do is, if it's a player like this, we already know that is true, so we can do it like this. It will be smaller. Okay, I get it. So if his player control is local controlled, let me think for a second. So this is executing on all, so we're skipping the one that is setting the aim offset. So we're skipping the owner, but we're not skipping owner that is only the player. We are skipping owner that is basically anything. So if it is local controlled, wait, what? Okay, so if it's local control not, yeah, that works fine. And by colors, I know which one I already updated. Okay. Get control rotation. So this is taking control rotation from the controller locally. So this will work for AI. So if you have AI controller, right, and you have AI controller object reference, you can set focus, and you can either set focus, which is actor reference, or you can set a focal point, which is a vector in word space, and the AI will look at this particular location, and get control rotation will get this control rotation value for the AI, because AI always turns rotation towards the focal point. Okay, so this works fine. This is to server if owning client. Yeah, it doesn't have to be reliable. Or maybe to the server should be, and this multicast shouldn't be reliable. Yeah, let's make this one reliable, but it's running on tick, and this is a vector. Rotator is a vector. It's a big variable. it weighs a lot. Let me think. Is this keeping really such a problem? Is it really? It's really not. Screw that. Okay, so what do we have here? So first of all, collapse to function. Yeah. And this is a pure function, it's a local function. So this is rotation and location. And location is on the top. Okay. Okay, and I will use this one. So we'll use the camera location to do a line trace. And then we'll also get the camera forward vector. So you know what? We'll actually do this. Let's do it like this. So here now I have manager. I can get forward vector of the manager. And the manager, by the way, camera manager is updating with the camera itself, not with the controller. So if we're getting forward vector of the camera manager, times, okay, how much is it? So this is like 100 meters. Okay, 100 meters is fine. Debug, should I have a debug? I definitely should have a debug, real variable debug. And this one will be just debug. Okay. And I need to see aim offset tag equals no, aim offset type equals aim. So if it is true, then aim socket name, and if it is false, it will be the look socket name. And this one will be spine 03 by default, and this one will be IK hand gun by default. Okay. What else do we need to do here? So we're getting socket of that mesh. Okay, we're doing this line trace, right? We are tracing complex visibility. Well, definitely visibility. That's the one that we want for aim offset. And this is the draw debug based on debug. We are ignoring self, and self is actually the owner. But we can also add instigator. Or you know what? Get owner, get attached actors. And we'll just ignore the attached actors. All actors which are checked directly to a component of this actor. Okay. We'll ignore everything that is attached to our owner, so our aim offset will ignore our weapon, for example. And we are already ignoring self, and self in this context is the owner, so we don't have to add it to the array. I don't think that reset array is heavy. I mean, this will be mostly empty. You can reset it. We're not using these rotations, this is strange. The x vector is the forward vector, I think, right? Like, what's the how can I won't have much time to test it. Let's test it. It's real fast. From rotation UE4. So what's the root? Okay, construct f theta. Vector forward vector, get forward vector. Direction vector. Yeah, this one please. Which one is it? I won't have time to test it. Wait, get right vector? What? Can I just... What? Really? Rotate the word forward vector by the given rotation. Get the x direction vector after this rotation. So if I get like anything, okay. Yeah, so x is forward. Thank you, Cube. You saved my life once again. There should be like a... randomize the color. Okay. Okay, so we've done this. Heat, blocking heat, out heat, return value. False otherwise. Okay, so true means that we did have a hit, and we have hit location, and we have hit impact point. We actually need more the impact point than the location. And we want to create look at location. That's going to be handy, and we want it to be different, and we can use it locally for some cool stuff. So if we did hit something, we have impact point, we are setting impact point, and then we are doing a find okay, so from one of those to this target. Yeah, so this is all player camera based. Okay, that makes sense. Server aim offset, server aim offset. That actually makes sense. Jesus, how did I do that in one day from nothing? Honestly, sometimes my own work surprises me. Look at socket name. Okay, and this is aim socket name. So if debug is true, if debug is true, then draw those lines. Okay. Okay. And if we didn't hit anything, we are, instead of using our hit location, by the way, no, impact point. Impact point. Okay. Why aren't we reading our hit trace end? Why are we recalculating it? That's ridiculous. Let's use this one. So where this is going, it's going here and here only. Okay. Trace end and trace end. Okay, that makes sense. Server aim offset. Okay, so if we didn't hit anything, we're taking again this. So this. So this is here and here. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so this is taking the camera, location, rotation, forward vector, doing line trace from the camera because this is the camera view. And depending if we hit something or we didn't, we are setting our aim rotation based on find, look at rotation. Fine. Or maybe there was a reason why I wasn't using impact point, hit location. What's the difference? UE4 hit event, impact point, location. What's the difference? Local location of hit event, break hit house, local difference for impact. Oh yeah, this one. How is it different? Of a trace, such as point of impact on surface, not on. Oh, okay. Location is the location of the shape when it hits something, and impact location is the location where the hit occurred. So yeah, impact location is the one that we want, but inline trace, it doesn't matter. That makes sense. I was wondering, yeah, but it's standardized, that's why it doesn't matter. Bam, 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 bam. What else do we have here? I think we've done with this one. And that's the entire AGR animation system. Yes. This one I'm not sure if it will work properly, but rest is fine. Tick events should be next to begin play. I like to keep them together. Okay. Place an overlay. Turn and aim offset. And this is just local. Okay, so those two are being set, those three are being set here. This one is being used only locally, those two are being used only locally, so it doesn't matter. I think we nailed it. This is the improved version of my AGR. So what we need now is an anim instance. We need animation blueprint, which is an anim instance. Okay. Can I select none? Oh, come on. Damn it. Okay, I need to have a skeleton here. So let's quickly add one. Mannequin mobile. Scout had to screw this one up, and it's it even looks the same as the normal mannequin, but instead of 40,000 polygons, it got only like 4,000, and the shader complexity is smaller. I used to, when I started learning Unreal Engine, I had a really shitty laptop. I mean really shitty laptop. Like this map right now would run at maybe 10 FPS. Oh, the performance is terrible anyway. But it's terrible because of the engine itself. If you full screen, the performance actually improves instead of dropping. And my max FPS is 144. Yeah. So a really shitty laptop and a really shitty PC with a good RAM, good CPU, but absolutely trash GPU, because I was running on Intel HD 4000. That was a card building into an i7 processor. So working on Unreal Engine was a constant slideshow. And even on such a terrible thing, I had some performance. Like I had to make stuff as performant for PC as you would do normally for mobile. So that's why I learned about this mannequin mobile, which is like, I will show it to you. It looks exactly the same. It's like a little bit less shiny, but you see shader complexity is 70. It still has this plastic shininess to it. Does it really lose any quality? I wouldn't say that, but it's only 10,000 triangles, so it's good for mobile, while the full one got like 50,000. I really like this guy. Okay, so let's make a create anim blueprint, and let's call it animation blueprint AGR core anim BP. Or base. Let's make it base. Okay, and we want to move it here, and we want to move this one here, and we want to move maps. We want to reload this map and save everything, and we want to in content fix up redirection. That was fast. Okay, and now we want to have blueprints. I'm doing this naming convention that you normally would have when moving stuff to marketplace. So you need to have one core folder for your entire work that has certain, you know, stuff in common. So if I had like a weather system or I don't know, dynamic inventory system, will be a separate folder, and inside of it you have those character, blueprints, animations, maps, and other folders. I also need data, because all those are data, and anim blueprints. Where should anim blueprints go? UE4 naming convention. Let's check. Okay, so those are sections. Animation, ABP. Okay, but I just use AB usually. ABP E, this is fine, no underscore. Okay, material library, interesting. Common pistols, rifles, art, that makes sense. Characters, so core basically. I don't yeah, that's basically what it is. Interesting. Like, I'm working on a project that basically has this. Like, but it was my call, just to be clear. I tried to force this naming convention. Material library, no empty folders. Yes, blueprints. Okay. Animation blueprint. Aha, okay, so it's in animations. Fine, we can do it like this. And now we have it clearly in just one folder. So let's work on this bad boy now. So this will be a template in C++. It will not be filled in. It will not run any animations. And it will be just extended, but it will run certain variables that you have already here. Okay, so we're going to do it like this. Delta tick. Thank you. What's wrong with those arrows? Interesting. Okay, try get pound owner. If he is valid, then get component by class, and this one will be AGR animaster component reference, and all of those are not instance editable because they are always running at runtime. Okay, so if he's valid, you want to get this, and then you want a sequence, and now we're going to do a lot of stuff. So yeah, like I said, I learned Unreal Engine for the first year and a half, or even more than that, on absolute trash PC, an absolute trash laptop. And I was just so determined to do it. And I had people who were supporting me, and that, I think this is the most important part. There was just someone who, whenever I wanted to give up, was pushing me to continue learning stuff. And it wasn't you, Kitty. Come here. Come here, you lovely cat. Say something to the microphone. No? 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 Yes, I love you. Okay, stay here. Wow, okay. So I only need stuff from AnimGraph. Okay, so I might need this. And I might need this. So basically I'm getting the pound, getting its movement component, checking if the movement component is a character movement component. So basically if he is a character, you know what, class to character, it will be easier. Because character has a character movement component. Get character movement, and now I can promote to variable character movement component. I hope that this is not too long. Should I save character? Is there any reason to do that? Yes, there is. Owner as character. Okay, so we're getting this, and this is just a reference, so overwriting a reference is not really heavy. This is basically begin play. This is event tick, to be honest. Okay, so now once we've done this, we need to go through the sequence. Okay, and we need one more thing. We need inside this component, we should also have animation modification tags, or even anim mod tags, and this will be a gameplay tag container, and it will be replicated, and it will not be set anywhere in here, because this one should be called directly, and we might want to do a function set add tag and a function remove tag. So we'll just take this and we'll just add this gameplay tag, and in the remove tag we'll do the same. Remove gameplay tag. And this one will have a return if it successfully removed the tag. So that's it. Okay. And we're not doing any starting tags or anything like that. This is a runtime container. So here, let's take our animation master component. I don't know what we're going to do it differently. So here, now we'll do it like this. And here we'll have a sequence, and now animation master component get, and by the way, this is also a, let's say it's a component. Whoa, this is not royalty free. Thank you. Dodge the bullet there, I hope. Or I can get an AI strike in a second. What do you want? You want food? Okay, give me food. By the way, I don't know how it's possible, but one of my cats is super fat and the second one is super fit, and they're eating the same, but one of the cats is secretly feeding the other. So yeah. Okay, so you have modification tags if you want to use any tags based states. So you can have a lot of tags that we don't want to specifically use in we don't want, for example, to call make an overlay out of wounded state. We want the wounded state to be part of the main locomotion state, and we want it to be able to override it with an overlay. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, the base tag, obviously. Get base pose. Go to variable base pose. Okay, we have overlay, which is just promote, and we call it overlay pose. And then we have aim offset. Yeah, we get the aim offset as a thing. Promote variable. It will be aim offset. No, this one will be called later. We're gonna need it like this. We're going to make this aim offset, which is a rotation, we're going to turn it into an actual aim offset that we can use. Aim offset type, that might be useful. Aim get aim offset type. Well, how did we call it? That's my problem. Behavior. Let's add tooltip. No, there's. Okay. I can do it for functions. I have keywords, but not for variables. Aim behavior. Save. Aim behavior. Okay. We don't have speed anymore. You know what? We'll get this raw aim offset. We'll call it raw aim offset. Aim offset type. This might be useful for us. We might want to do a select or a switch. We can do both. We can like do different executions, or we can get one of those wildcard values. So this one could be useful. The behavior, do we need it? Probably not here, but let's use it. In behavior. Okay. And this raw aim offset, so we got those three values. We got those two. What else? Oh, and the rotation. Get rotation method. We don't need the speed, but do we? Maybe we do need speed. Nah, we just need the method. Okay. So those are the raw values from the component. Is there anything else? Let me think. From the top to bottom. Yes, yes. First person. Yeah, we need this one as well. Anything else? what are my cuts doing? Look at location. This could be handy. Okay, let's leave it like this. Okay. Aim offset, look at location, animation, modification tags, we already have them. Rotate method, speed doesn't matter, turn, start, angle and stop doesn't matter. Aim offset type, aim behavior we already have. Angle clamp is irrelevant. Wait, what? Where do we set it? Okay, let's not say angle clamp, let's say aim clamp. First of all, I already didn't know what it is. And default is 90. Let's set all those defaults. Base pose, nothing, nothing. First person, no. Aim offset, 0, 0, 0, fine. Look at location, 0, 0, fine. Aim modification tags, empty. Rotate method, none, fine. Rotation speed, 360, fine. Start turn angle, 90. Turn tolerance 1, aim offset type is none, behavior is nearest. Aim clamp 135. Oh, and let's do also this. Rotation speed can be anything greater than 0, honestly. Turn start angle. Anything between 1 and 180. Okay. Turn stop tolerance, anything from 1 to, let's say, 90. It can't be less than 1, that's the important part. I already did, I already fail saved it here. Like, I think so. No, not here. I failed saved it here, so there is a minimum and maximum value for the turn stop tolerance. And it's 190, same as here. Aim clamp 135 is 180 from 0, honestly. It can be 0. Doesn't matter. Camera based is off by default. Aim socket AK handgun, that's fine. Spine 03, that's fine as well. You know what, maybe let's do it hand R. Let's see, hand underscore R. Yeah, let's do it like this. Just in case, as default. And debug is false by default, so this is okay. Now I'm done. I have baseline values. Let's go through them again. Aim clamp, camera based. This is irrelevant for animation system, and those two, aim socket, look at socket, irrelevant. Okay, those are relevant. Aim offset, behavior, and rotation. This is also aim offset. Okay. Let me see one more thing. FPP, first person, okay. Yeah, I guess that's everything. That's just all the variables in here. Now we need to get calculations. So first of all, collapse this, get variables, from component. Okay, so this is the first step. Now that we have those variables, we need to make some calculations. Garfield, yeah. One silver leaf. Yeah, this is like I'm doing the preparation, like I'm redoing everything in my system. So I delete everything that is not necessary, and I update to make sure that everything that is multiplayer works properly on multiplayer. Because the biggest problem of multiplayer is when the character gets netcode and then called back into existence again on some remote client. Oh, just a second. Be right back. Enjoy some of this royalty-free music. Yeah, okay, I'm back. Okay, I called all those. Okay, this one is annoying. I kind of like this one. Is straight velocity or side or right velocity, and it is usually called the right vector because okay, so he's idle. Okay. And then, if we are idle, we don't want to do some stuff, and if we are not idle, we want to do something, and I will explain why. So, we already have this, right? And we can copy this here, and we can do calculate direction, which is animation instance function. Like this, and we can promote this variable to direction. And the reason we want to set it if we are not idle is for the stop animation. So if we are idle, so this velocity is 0, this will always give us 90 degrees right, always. That we are rotated 90 degrees right. And this is because inside the character itself, we have our mesh rotated 90 degrees, right? So because of that, 0 is not 0, 0 is 90. And when we go into idle, we want our vector not to be recalculated. We can actually make this tolerance even smaller, like 0, 1. Okay, what else do we need? We need movement component. Check if it's valid. And if it's valid, we want acceleration. This one. And why do we want this one? Why we want this one is because we cannot read the input vector from the character itself, because it's only stored locally and it's being consumed by the character controller itself. But we can read acceleration, and acceleration is not the actual character acceleration. So try get pound owner. We cannot read acceleration, which is a